Welcome, everyone, to Goodnight and Good Game, your source for geek news for the weeks that were. I'm your host, and with me, as always, is our wonderful co-host, Hector.
Hello.
And our fantastic producer, John.
It's me.
This week on the show, after the news, we're going to be talking about everything that was shown at the Sony Summer State of Play this week. Before we start, don't forget that you can head over to goodnight.gg, where as a patron of our show, you can suggest topics for us to talk about. Also, as a patron, you get access to our off-week episodes. We are now in Season 2 of our Tales from the Crypt rewatch and recap. It's only $1 to join our Patreon. And don't forget that Tales from the Crypt is currently showing on Shudder, so you can watch along with us. It'll be cool. If you're not able to join our Patreon, you can always help us by liking or sharing our episodes, or just letting somebody else know about our little podcast would mean the world to us. All right, with all the business out of the way, it's time to get into the weekly raid.
The weekly raid.
All right, it's time for the weekly raid, your roundup of recent geek news. Kicking things off this week, while filming on Resident Evil has been all wrapped up, Zach Krieger has announced that he is going to be once again working with his friend and producer Roy Lee on their next project, which is going to be a dark little comedy. That's going to be called Little One. It stars David Harbour. We don't know much about it right now. It's still very early into production. But David Harbour, by the way, if you're not keeping an eye on this man and some of the dark horror stuff that he's in, even dark comedy stuff that he's been working on, he has got a fantastic track record right now.
Oh, yeah.
And the basic byline for this movie is we know that it's a change in a child's behavior that threatens to tear a picture-perfect family apart. And Krieger has gone on record saying that this film will not be as dark as Weapons.
Okay.
Now I need to tell you about the important movie release of the year. On August 25th of this year, a film that will be released that will change lives. It's called Wereshark. Not sold yet? Let me give you the description. Quote, a savage hybrid of shark and werewolf begins hunting the terrified residents of a quiet resort town, turning a summer getaway into a blood-soaked nightmare. As more mutilated bodies wash ashore, panic grips the coastline, and no one is safe inland or in the water. A handful of locals must fight back together to stop the wereshark before the entire town is devoured. So, fun fact, for years, Hollywood has tried and failed to adapt the dark future beat-em-up Streets of Rage.
Have they?
Yeah, that's fair.
This is true. I'm going to give you history here. And we are talking about the Sega Genesis video game.
Oh, we heard you.
Derek Kolstad, who helped create John Wick, was originally attached to the project. However, now Pat Casey and Josh Miller, who wrote all three Sonic the Hedgehog movies, have now taken over with Jamie Samuel, who directed The Harder They Fall and The Book of Clarence, on top of having composed the music for The Great Gatsby, is now the attached director to a Genesis video game movie adaptation.
We're going to talk about adaptations more when I am talking to you about what we did this week. And the ones that are good and the ones that are bad. And I'll bring this back up. I don't know why somebody would adapt Streets of Rage into a movie. The plot is a video game plot.
Right. Also, not for nothing, but like Streets of Rage is heralded, as far as the Sega Genesis goes, as having one of the most banger soundtracks of all time.
Yeah.
And if they don't bring that like 80s funk, like early techno beat to it, then like you've already lost me. Like you need to have that cheesy synth score that like, yeah, it's too good. All right, let's move on from Streets of Rage, but let's keep the adaptation train rolling. The Netflix animated series Devil May Cry has been renewed for a third and final season. Showrunner Adi Shankar said that this has always been the intention, is to have 3 seasons, as the respective seasons were based around the books of the Divine Comedy.
Yeah. I mean, Shankar's a real personality, right? Like, sometimes you want to be like, yeah, this guy is bringing cool stuff to the screen, which he is. And other times you're like, man, this guy seems like not the greatest. Maybe
Right.
wouldn't want to hang out with this guy. That being said, I am very glad about the type of stuff that he's brought to Netflix Animation, because Netflix Animation is great. Love the entire Castlevania
he brought
series, even though
Castlevania.
that was Warren Ellis, but he still had a lot to do with having it made and having it continue. So having him do Devil May Cry has been like, it was definitely something I wanted.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see him finish it. Just go ahead and complete it and say we have this. Because there's not a lot of other Devil May Cry stuff. And it takes forever for us to get iterations in the Devil May Cry franchise from Capcom. So it's cool to have more stuff in the world in between.
Yeah, completely agree. So let's head over to gaming news. Over in gaming news, Nintendo has announced they're going to be releasing a new version of the Switch specific to Europe that has a replaceable battery, as new EU regulations have been put in place recently to make sure that certain appliances have easily replaceable batteries for the lifetime of the product.
Yeah, right to repair, right to have your own stuff. Yeah, no, makes sense. It's cool to see them mandate this. It'll be interesting to see how it affects design. I think for me, it'll be most interesting to see how it affects sales locally here in the States, because some people might really go out of their way to buy one with a replaceable battery.
Right.
Absolutely, I was thinking about that too.
And maybe this just catches on. What's good for What rising tide raises all boats and all that. If this is happening there, I really hope there's a push to get it. Even just vote with your wallets and buy the EU version, just so
Right.
yeah, okay, if it borks, I've got it covered.
Right. And honestly, one of the other things about it is making the console easily openable, even if it is only for just the battery.
Oh yeah.
Modders, they love that shit.
Yup.
And so you've really just almost upsold your product more to people, because you're like, oh, well, I want the European version because I want a replaceable battery, and also it's probably easier to mod as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also in console news, over the last week, Valve has raised the price of the OLED Steam Deck by over $200.
Yeah.
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 This is from GameDeveloper.com. Quote, the Steam OLED 512 gigabyte model will now cost $789 in the U.S.,
You were the chosen one.
having previously retailed for $549. The 1 terabyte console will now cost $949, a significant upswing on its previous retail price of $469. Valve said, quote, the Steam Deck itself hasn't changed. These new prices reflect the current state of component costs and other global logistical challenge across the industry as a
Say the
whole.
line, Bart.
Yeah,
We'll keep you updated if anything changes.
yeah, this is straight up just we refuse to take a loss on this console.
Right.
We don't have to. We're fucking Valve. This is Steam. We can't take a loss on these. We have no reason to.
Yeah.
I fully trust them to if tomorrow the price of RAM dipped to nothing, to be like, hey, guess what?
Right.
The prices are back. But that's just not the world we live in right now. Once we have all of the meth heads in the country strip mine the data centers for their copper, then we'll be right back in business and they can lower prices again. But until then, and then maybe I can get a new fucking video card.
Get on it, meth heads.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's talk about some fun stuff.
Sure.
In wild gaming news, it was announced that The Witcher 3 is getting yet another expansion called Songs of the Past. It will launch in 2027 for PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. From GameSpot.com, quote, CDPR has confirmed that the system requirements for The Witcher 3 on PC will be updated to ensure smooth performance and compatibility going forward. This means that any Witcher 3 player running the game on Windows 10 operating system will need to upgrade to Windows 11 if they want to keep playing it.
Good. Who's on Windows 10? I hope you upgraded. I don't care if you hate 11. 10 is not better. 10, it's just not. If you really want to play the Windows game, go back to XP. Don't be on 10 instead of 11.
My Gen 1 Surface that we do the show on is on 10, but that's only because
it can't
upgrade.
Yeah, no, it's too old. Like 11 has fucking standards and shit, what can I say about this DLC?
But you were the person I put this news in here for, because I needed to know your opinion about this.
So what do I know so far about Songs from the Past? I know it's new DLC for a game that came out in 2015, my favorite game for a long time, my absolute favorite game of all time. And I know that the DLC is said to be as long as Blood and Wine.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. So
It's kind of insane, actually.
yeah.
And we got one really good season on Netflix. And then
One or two, certainly no one's watching it now.
that is true. All right. The creator of the wildly popular game Balatro, Playstack, could soon be owned by Integrated Media Company, which is a brand that owns a ton of various studios like Fandom, Screen Junkies, Fanatical, and GameSpot. The proposed sale would be for roughly $169 million.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just a publisher. I
It's
mean,
true.
it's fun to put the name Balatro in there, but it won't affect them at all. Like it's one dude who could just not.
But there's a lot of questions that we do not have answers to about this. So obviously, like the publisher and the name of Balatro will then belong to this larger media empire. But there's small things that we just to keep in the back of your mind. Not saying that any of these things will happen, but we have a quote from the person who made Balatro, who, by the way, to this day has never shown their face.
Oh yeah, no, not interested.
We do not know who they are. We know like what their online alias is.
Yeah.
But
Man, if I designed like Vegas slot machines for a living, I wouldn't want my face in public either.
right. So, but the creator did. I think it's like Local Thunk is what he goes by. They go by, and basically said like, "Hey, look, as long as I'm in charge of Balatro, like Balatro will always be a small little indie title where we give out the DLC for free, and also we will never sell the concept to Vegas,
Right.
Essentially." I don't know what that means in the future if they are being purchased by somebody else.
Yeah,
So,
no, who knows? I mean, it's not like there's not a lot of patent work that could happen around games like this because it is just poker rules,
Right.
Like with shit strapped on it. Like he could make a clone tomorrow himself under a different name, call it Calatro, and just call it a day, and
Right.
it would be the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's end this part of gaming news with a bit of a weird one. StarCraft 2 is about to have a huge new balance patch.
Huh.
There were minor changes in both 2024 and 2025, but not like this one. This is a game, by the way, that's been in maintenance mode for about 6 years now.
I was gonna say they stopped supporting this game a while ago.
So if you're unfamiliar with the term maintenance mode, it essentially means that the servers are online for people to play the game, but no new updates are actively in development unless like it's a game crashing bug or something.
Right. You know, Windows had an update and now the game doesn't work. Right. That sort of thing.
The changes in this patch are so huge that members of the StarCraft subreddit are calling it basically a new game.
Huh.
They're changing how certain units work. They're changing the resource numbers on the geysers and minerals. Like, I looked at the patch notes for this. It's huge. Like, they're changing everything in the game.
Almost feels like they're practicing for something. But like if I were Blizzard, the next game I release would not be StarCraft 3. I don't know how many people are buying RTS these days.
Right.
I really do root for them when they come out, but it's mostly like Warhammer type stuff, you know?
Yeah.
I understand that there would be a larger audience for StarCraft 3, but like how big?
I mean, it would be big.
But like big what? Like I don't think it would do Overwatch numbers.
Yeah, I don't think as many people, because the big thing about StarCraft, if you're unaware of this history of StarCraft, is one of the reasons StarCraft was such a big deal, other than the fact that it's a great game and a bunch of nerds love it. At the time of StarCraft's release in South Korea, people didn't just have computers. Oftentimes, people in South Korea, if you wanted to play a computer game or be on the computer for any extended period of time, what you did was you went to an internet cafe. And Blizzard decided that what they were going to do is provide either free or low-cost copies of their games to internet cafes in Korea so that people can play them. So StarCraft being on every computer and at every internet cafe in South Korea, everybody started playing it there because you can LAN it, you can play it online, it's got BattleNet and all these things, and people would just pick it up as an esport there. Mind you, StarCraft as an esport always existed, but never to the capacity that it was in South Korea during its initial release. It's so much so that when StarCraft 2 came out, I'm dropping the deep StarCraft lore for you. And when StarCraft 2 came out, it was in such a bad shape that the South Koreans decided would rather continue playing StarCraft 1 professionally
Yeah.
than move on to StarCraft 2.
Yeah, that was a big thing because I remember when StarCraft 2 came out, and I even then realized, having grown up enjoying very much World of Warcraft 3 and Command and Conquer, several iterations of Command and Conquer, I realized as I get older that most RTS games were just not going to be for me, not in a solo capacity. I didn't want to play these games by myself late into the night like I used to. I had other types of games that I could play now that I enjoyed more.
Yeah.
But I still bought StarCraft 2 when it came out because it was an event and it was a big deal. And I thought maybe this will suck me back in. It did not. It was terribly uninteresting to me. Sure. And I thought that'll just be me and I'll walk away. But then my buddy Ross, who is very much into RTS games, just kind of put it down and never bothered with it again. And I noticed the same in just about everyone I knew who liked RTS style games. It just kind of didn't hit. Yep. And that was the first time I think I really saw Blizzard fail that way. But it's interesting to see what they're doing with this and why is the big question. Because honestly, ever since, Overwatch 2, I'm usually not surprised by moves people in the industry make. But the type of decisions I see at a Blizzard, in the last 5 years, I can't explain at all. Well, it seems like they're actively asking people to hate them.
We were talking not that long ago about how another game that's been in maintenance mode for years, Heroes of the Storm, just recently got a huge balance update and a bunch of stuff added to it. Yeah. And everybody was just like, what are you guys doing over there?
Yeah, that's a good question.
My theory was that, if they're doing this patch update or whatever, we're talking about Heroes of the Storm, it's because they were probably going to get ready to just release it on Steam so that it has more eyes on it.
Oh, that'd be fair.
Because people do actively play the game still. It's just not getting any kind of updates. So that was kind of my theory about the whole thing. But it hasn't shown up on Steam yet. StarCraft 2 getting an update like this is just honestly crazy pants.
It's just like it being enough changes that they're calling it a new version of the game.
Right.
That is wild.
Yeah.
And
because certain units operate completely differently now. Things like the number of starting resource gathering units that you get is minimized. Like there is literally a giant set of patch notes for every single one of the races.
Huh. Okay.
And I'm just like, what you guys up to over there?
Who knows? Maybe it is a big Steam launch thing. Maybe they're getting rid of the goddamn Blizzard launcher once and for all because no one likes that shit.
Right. It could be. Could very well be. I know that I've always wanted to... I did enjoy StarCraft 2, but I've always been a really big fan of the StarCraft story. So I was super into that. I've actually always wanted to play StarCraft 2 multiplayer. Like, not multiplayer against people, but you can play the campaign itself with other people.
Oh, that sounds fun.
And I've always wanted to do that because it seems like it'd be a lot of fun to do. So, yeah. Weird day for StarCraft news. I have to say that. But, maybe we'll hear more. Maybe we'll be 6 months from now talking about how they're either launching StarCraft 2 on Steam or maybe they're gearing up for a StarCraft 3. Who knows?
Could be. Yeah, it's hard to predict games coming down the pipe right now. We're finally outside of this weird phase that we had of pandemic games, and we're just now seeing the other side of it. So, yeah, it could be a very interesting couple of years. Also,
not for nothing, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here, but as we are recording this as we always do on a Thursday, tomorrow, the Summer Game Fest starts.
Oh yeah.
So our next episode, we're doing Sony's State of Play today. Our next episode will be us covering all the things that we saw during Summer Games Fest. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be crazy pants for the next couple weeks. All right. That is everything that we have for the news this week. But stick with us as we get into our main topic in the Boss Room.
Boss Room.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. The Boss Room is our main topic, sometimes related to the news, sometimes not. It is a place where we can talk about things like this week's topic, the Sony Summer State of Play. Woo. Sony had a huge showing this week, and while we can't cover everything, we wanted to talk about some of the highlights of the presentation. We just have a list. Hector, is there anything just off the top of your head that you just want to... We know what the big one is. We could save the big one for the end.
And we will get there, but...
Toss me the big one when you get there, please.
Yeah. But here's my favorite one. My favorite part of it is because I immediately knew they were hiding something big for the end. and I didn't know what it was, but I immediately knew when the very first trailer they showed was for
Wolverine.
Marvel's Wolverine.
Yeah, Marvel.
Man. And if you're watching this on YouTube, this video is probably demonetized because Wolverine fucking fights nasty.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Watch him rip people's heads open, cut people in half. We had all kinds of amazing gameplay footage. We saw Jean Grey. Mm-hmm. We saw Sabretooth. We saw some extended, action gameplay sequences. We saw, chunks flying off of Wolverine, his suit getting super bloody, him healing over time.
So I want to go comment about that real quick
Man.
because the internet just had so many things to say about the Sony State of Play.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the things the internet was saying, when I say the internet, I mean like a small percentage of idiots on Twitter. But there were a bunch of people going, "Oh, well, did you see his suit heals too when he heals?" And everybody's response is, if the suit didn't heal when he healed, you would just play a buck naked Wolverine the entire game.
Butt-ass naked Wolverine the entire game. And, I don't think that's what we're here for. No offense to Wolverines. I'm sure fantastic ass. But, the game's rated M, not A.
Right.
I don't know if we have room for all that dong on camera as he flies at people with his claws covered in blood like some kind of zombie from the Bone Temple. Man.
Just flailing dong everywhere.
Wang helicoptering as he runs towards you. My God. But, there is a scene in the trailer, in the gameplay showcase they put on, where some guy just nails him with a shotgun, blows out like the left half of his back, and you're just seeing bone and viscera, and then slowly, as he continues to fight as if nothing happened, it heals itself, which is cool. It's very cool. Healing also to armchair the idiots. Healing also seems to be cleaning his suit.
Yeah.
Because he is much less bloody now than he was about 5 seconds ago.
It's a video game.
It's a video game, and it's a lot of fun. And just please try to enjoy things, idiots.
Yep.
Just do that.
What's really fascinating about this game, and I don't want to get too far into the weeds, but one of the things they talk about is the X-Men do not exist in this universe.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, there's a group of mutants. It's called Team X or something like that. But the X-Men proper don't exist in this version of the universe. So
yeah, like I said, we see Jean Grey and she's a badass, and instead of doing Jean Grey stuff, she's holding dudes up in front of Wolverine so he can gut them.
Also, another reason you can't have Logan lose his clothing, because the moment Jean Grey shows up, then it becomes an adult-only game because he will just be sprung.
That is 6 to midnight for Wolverine right there.
Absolutely.
But yeah, excellent first game, excellent showcase.
Comes out this year.
Yeah, coming out. Like every game, you will sense a theme immediately, and I'm going to go ahead and spoil it for you. Just about every game we're going to talk about with any urgency at all tonight, like 99% of them, come out between September and October.
Yep. Pretty much.
This is the avoid Grand Theft Auto date.
Yep.
Because they were going to pepper these out all throughout the end of the year, but no one, and I mean no one, is going to release a game against Grand Theft Auto.
Nope.
We are getting Call of Duty this year at the end of October, and not even the late end of October, like the middle of October.
That never happens. It's always November.
Always early November around my birthday, it's always, like second week in November.
Yeah, it wants to be around that for that Thanksgiving, Christmas block.
Yeah. They're a holiday present to video games, and this year it's way back because it's just Grand Theft Auto for the rest of the year, baby.
As you can suspect, we actually sit in group chat talking to each other when these things are going on. And at one point, I'm just the funniest thing Grand Theft Auto could do right now is just push its date back.
Change its date to September 25th. God, please do that. That would be hilarious.
I gotta ask, we still have Wolverine on screen.
Yep.
Why do they keep going at him? They see they see the score, don't they?
I don't know. They're getting paid like any mercenary.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Trask's people are mutant haters, and they are, in fact, in the trailer, he's rounding up mutants. So
they see what's coming. Why?
Sure. I mean, I get it too. If I saw a very tiny, angry man with claws running at me, possibly or not dong out, then I would be terrified as
Be
well.
like, it's cool. We're done.
Yeah.
I'll just I'll just
Yeah.
put in my
That's when I put off.
I'll put in my
gun
hours
down
and
just jump off of the truck myself. And just
Yeah.
like, whoop, sorry, nope. Yeah, I not racist. I swear to God.
just kidding. It was a joke. Bye.
Yeah. Please.
Oh, and just as a quick note, we did see, other than Jean Grey, we did see Mystique show up, and
Yeah,
Sabretooth showed up, and of course they said we have lots of other guest characters. We're just not
Yeah,
gonna
we
say
know
anything."
already that we're gonna have Omega Red.
Yeah.
like it should be. This looks like so much fun.
But also,
It
I do
looks so-
think when you mentioned what I'm kind of now seeing looks very much on rails.
Yeah,
it's very
absolutely.
on
That. Especially the combat feels very much like Spider-Man's combat, which I'm not saying is a bad thing. In fact, that might be the highlight of it, because the rest of what I'm seeing feels like a little bit like playing an Uncharted game. Like you're moving from set piece to set piece
yeah.
rather than like there being an open world, which, don't get me wrong, I'm good with that. I don't think anyone needs an open world Wolverine game.
True.
He can't fly.
Yep.
But
I had a suggestion for that because everybody was like, you can't make an open world Wolverine game because he can't fly or anything. And I was like, we are all forgetting the fact that Wolverine is Canadian and that you should have him ride a moose. And then you upgrade your moose throughout the game. And then at the end, you can have a rocket moose.
That's funny. I
Adamant-
thought you were honestly going for skis or
This
like a
is
snow
the-
sea.
adamantium
No,
moose.
he's Canadian, and what's more
Okay.
Canadian than a moosticus? So you upgrade your moosticus,
Yeah.
and then you can get like a rocket moosticus.
Yeah.
Like, this is why I should be a game developer.
Yeah, and a comic book writer, because that is gold, honestly.
See, like I don't see doing any of that stuff as a player. Like for the record, he just like swooped underneath a big
yeah.
tractor trailer and flipped it around, and it's like, are those quick times, or am I going to have to do that? Because if I have to do that, I don't think I could. I don't think I could time it like that.
Sure. Let's
That's
actually
very
continue
fair.
the Marvel block, just because I do want to briefly talk about
A little bit of Tokon.
a little bit of Marvel Tokon.
Yeah, we got a new set. We got our third, I want to say, of 4 rosters that we're gonna get.
Yeah.
So it's like 4. That ultimately we'll end up with 4 sets of 4 characters, and we got introduced to the next 4 today. And man, was it cool!
Yeah, so
game really looks like it's coming along. I'm not the fighting game person in the group. James is, but I want to say the graphics look great and the game looks fun.
Yeah, so if you're unfamiliar with the way that Tokon works, where some fighting games are 1v1 and some are 2v2 and some are 3v3, this is the first 4v4 fighting game. That doesn't mean that 8 people are playing. That means one player is controlling 4 characters. And so the way they're doing them in Tokon is, instead of you picking a singular character from each of the different factions that are in the game, you pick a faction and you are playing those 4 characters in that faction. And you can choose to tag out if you want to the other characters. You don't have to. That's one of the things they really emphasized is, you can just play as Magneto the whole time if you just really want to do that. But that takes away a lot of the fun from the game. But
Right.
this was the bad guy reveal that we got.
Yeah.
So it was Doom, Magneto, Green Goblin, and Carnage.
And fucking Carnage.
I don't want to be pessimistic, but this feels like a DLC for Marvel versus Capcom.
Yeah, and it
this
should.
is absolutely what Marvel versus Capcom ended up being.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Arc System Works. This is the crew that brought us the Guilty Gear franchise.
Yeah, the most renowned and respected fighting games pretty much in the industry.
If you're not Street Fighter, then you're talking about Guilty Gear.
Yeah.
And if you're not talking about Guilty Gear, you're talking about Tekken. Those are your top 3. Those have been the top 3 games at Evo for, I don't know, as long as I've been alive.
Yeah, since Smash Brothers fell off, pretty much.
So yeah, like the new trailer looks good. It looks like a lot of fun. Looks like I'm gonna waste a lot of time playing a fighting game. Every time I say that I'm retiring from fighting games, and I am literally, from where I am sitting on my desk, staring at my fight stick right in front of me. It is talking to me like the Green Goblin mask.
Oh yeah.
Literal, not figurative.
Absolutely
Yeah.
literal. Let's pick something else to talk about. Like,
Okay, yeah, no, I want to do a couple quick ones real quick, just based on like a tiny bit of hype. There's Rayman Legends Retold. I don't know why we're remaking Rayman Legends instead of just making a new Rayman game, but that's not for me to decide. Ubisoft can do whatever they want.
It does look very pretty.
It is so fucking gorgeous. The entire thing looks like they took the Rayman art style, which is already beautifully hand-drawn. And I want to say we've remade this game a lot. This is like the 3rd remake of Rayman Legends. And the art style gets better every time. This time they went with kind of a like super photoreal claymation thing.
Yeah.
It is absolutely stunning to look at. and it's fluid and it's fast, and the backgrounds are like just so much eye candy, always on screen. Looks like an absolutely wonderful platformer. I would really love to play it. I would really love to have the time, like when this comes out, to sit down and just like spend some time with it, just because of how fucking cool it looks.
Do you think they had to get licensing from How I Trained My Dragon or whatever?
Oh no, you can ride. People have been riding dragons.
Well, it's not
you
just
know.
the dragon; it's the literal jowls. Like it's down to like the.
Oh, like
yeah.
it's the same design. Yeah.
Like it's the
I don't think you
exact
can
same
patent
design.
fat dragon.
I'm just saying, if you don't give your characters a chin, the Simpsons will sue.
That is
I
true.
loved it that they have guest characters in this game. Like that was that octopus from that octopus game that's about to come out. Like
Yes.
they're just making a random appearance in the Rayman game.
Yeah. Again, like it's a Ubisoft like big thing.
Mm-hmm.
But no, looks cool. Very happy with that. Boncho the Chef. This one got me excited. This is a spin-off of Dave the Diver. Dave the Diver, a wonderful game, not indie game, although it looks indie, about a man who owns a sushi restaurant next to the water, and he goes and he dives for fish to bring back to his sushi restaurant for his chef to make his customers every day. And he runs a restaurant. And
So it's part fishing simulator.
yeah, part fishing. It's more of a diving simulator than a fishing simulator. You have like a little spear gun, and you get better tools over time, so you can go deeper and collect more exotic fish, go out to different places, and there have been a ton of crossovers. It's a very, very cute game. And then at the end of the day, once you've hauled all your catch in, you have to play the restaurant mini game where you're serving customers, making sure your tea is poured on time, making sure they have what they need, and that the sushi chef's orders are being run to the people quickly. Very fun game. This game follows the sushi chef, Boncho, and how he learned and how he decided one day to fly to Tokyo and study under a master and learn to make sushi. It seems much more of a restaurant management style game than a dive game, a little bit of a fishing simulator rather than a diving simulator, but kind of a big collection of mini games. But by God, does this look fun.
I'm gonna pull this out again, but if I could ever trick my wife into playing a video game, that looks like one of them.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Totally.
Definitely. The next one I want to talk on real quickly is Kimuri, Hunt the Unseen.
I'm glad you brought this one up because I was like, I don't know how you feel about this
So
one.
as soon as it opened, I looked at it, and it was like 4 characters on a roof talking to each other in a big open world city, and then one of them jumped down, and I was like, fuck, here we have another asymmetrical multiplayer hero shooter bullshit, live service. It's not any of that. It is a co-op beat 'em up a la Devil May Cry, but it is also like an open world adventure game because the demons you kill become powers because they become clothes that you wear that impart powers to you.
Oh, Mega
And
Man.
The more advanced demons you kill, the more powerful you get, allowing you to take on tougher and tougher demons.
Yeah, they have this entire like log of yokai that are in the game.
Yeah.
That like just all have these very unique properties and that you adapt to them. Honestly,
It looks really cool. Like 3-player max co-op, which
Yeah.
is kind of perfect. And you just kind of, you like roam through the world, get stronger, fight stronger things with like this beat 'em up style combat, almost like Devil May Cry looking type stuff. It seems very, very cool. It's done by, God, I'm forgetting her name right now, but she did the Tokyo Ghost game.
yes, Tokyo Ghostwire.
Tokyo Ghostwire. Ghostwire Tokyo. Yeah. She did that one. You know, she did a little bit of stuff for Konami back in the day. She has a great pedigree, and she came out, to the camera to talk about how much fun this game was and how much she's looking forward to us playing it. And man, this looks cool. It looks so cool. I'm super in.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess we could talk very briefly about Onimusha Way of the Sword, even though we've talked about it 12 times on the podcast, but we should briefly...
Yeah, Onimusha Way of the Sword is the next iteration in the Onimusha franchise from Capcom. We have not got an iteration of this franchise in, I want to say, like over 10 years. But it seems like it's back in its full glory. And the demo launched the day the trailer came out.
This is the new one, not the one that's a remake.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. There's no remake going on here. This is a brand new title. Obviously using the RE engine. I mean, like the characters all look great. I went ahead and played the demo as soon as they said that it was available. I played it on Steam. It's also available on PlayStation. But the demo was a lot of fun. Game was a
Because
tad bit.
you are the Onimusha person in this household. I've never played it.
I am, and just to give you a slight, tiny history of Onimusha, in case you're completely unfamiliar with the franchise, this came out after Resident Evil on the PlayStation 2, when we were really finding our footing into what these type of games could be. This was a Resident Evil, but you're a samurai, and they give you magic and you fight demons, but it's still elaborate mansions with puzzles and like magic that's there for no reason. But instead of, fighting the Umbrella Corporation, you're fighting the evil Nobunaga dynasty who tapped into demon power to rule Japan.
God, Nobunaga's always just fucking
It's
shit
always
up.
Nobunaga.
It's always
He's
it's
the asshole
always
of Japanese history.
Always Nobunaga's fault.
He's the bad guy. He's their Hitler or something, But that probably super not that. I probably just offended a bunch of people. I don't know anything about Nobunaga, but
he's always the bad guy.
I'm just gonna go ahead and put that out there. But he is always a bad guy in video games, so he might not have been a great dude. Maybe it's like a Blackbeard situation. I have
That's
no
possible.
idea. But the game, again, I played the demo. Demo was great. I played it from beginning to end. It was about an hour long. I do recommend it. It's a lot of fun. They're putting a lot of emphasis on the sword combat and a lot of emphasis there on the clashing of swords and how to respond in combat.
That is such a difficult thing. I'm sorry.
is
I've been
very
studying
difficult.
a lot of game development recently, like I always do for fun. So it's a fun hobby I have. But listening to game developers talk about how difficult it is to really... there's a reason why kissing always looks weird in video games.
Yeah, making models interact is very hard.
Yeah. And it's something that we're getting better at. But making a sword clash with another sword in a game, those are two objects that don't have physical properties that you have to basically bestow physical properties to.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and it's tough. And the game looks beautiful. It ran beautifully. The Steam demo did. I'm sure the PlayStation demo will run even better. Like I said, the game was fun. It did come off a little easy to me because they offered me a normal mode and an easy mode. I picked the normal mode. And I did not have any trouble whatsoever. I could perfect parry. I could do all that type of stuff. I'm sure the game will get more difficult. It's probably literally like an hour into the game, if that. Mm-hmm. So, but I am definitely looking forward to it. And it comes out September 25th. Mm-hmm. Yay.
I just want to briefly mention a game because I need to put an asterisk next to it. One of the games that was shown there was Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis. This is a remake of the original 1996
It has
Tomb
to be,
Raider.
right?
It is. It's a remake of the 1996 game. There's a reason the dinosaurs are there.
Yeah, dinosaurs.
But I want to put an asterisk here because it did come out this week that the studio said, oh, yeah, we totally used AI to help make this game, but it was refined by humans is what the term they used for it.
Like none of the stuff that we used AI to fill in was not looked at by a human. Well, sweet, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So people are having mixed feelings about that.
Yeah, and I totally get that. I do like Flying Wild Hog as a studio. They've made some of my favorite old school FPS games. But that being said, man, I don't know. The game looks great. Don't get me wrong. I love a Tomb Raider. Speaking of franchises that have been, helmed by women since the dawn of time.
I've played I played all of the PC except for Angel of Darkness. That was crazy.
And did you play the new run?
I haven't. They're on my Steam account.
Yeah, they're good, man. They're a lot of fun.
I played the first and second one.
Tomb Raider was my favorite game of all time for 10 years.
You know what? I feel like you'll like the new run even more.
It was actually the first game I ever replayed in my life.
So fun James story. Because I was a child when this came out.
Oh, this came out for PC in the 90s.
So it came out for PC in the 90s. I get it on my PC. I do what every self-respecting 13-year-old does.
You corner to see the triangle boobs?
I download the nude patch for it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no.
And
that way you get a different
and
28K texture.
I get about 3 minutes into playing this game with a nude patch on, and I go, this is dumb.
Yeah.
And then took the nude patch off.
This feels silly. Where's my immersion?
Right. The pretentious child that I was.
Right.
I can't play a game where a naked woman shoots dinosaurs. That's not logical. Put on some pants, woman.
Right. You put on a fucking shirt if you're going to fight. No, I'm there with you.
And small note about the AI thing, and I say this to all creators anywhere. If you are using AI, get very fucking specific. Specific to the point where, oh, you can name the AI tool you're using. You can name the implementation. Because once you can do that, it's no longer AI. It's a literal tool. Like Photoshop has had background removal for like a decade. And guess what? Nobody calls that AI, even though it is, by all accounts, artificial intelligence. You know, it has to do the calculations and stuff. But now it's a tool. It's a known tool. So if we keep saying AI, if we keep using that, it's this ambiguous, nihilistic, meaningless thing. And that's the idea behind it. That is the con. Like, the more vague you can keep something, it is the panacea. It is all evils and all goods. They can just keep taking your money for it. So if you are a creator and you use AI, figure out what you're using and just use that thing.
Make it the tool.
Make it a fucking tool.
It is a very complicated topic, which we've talked about quite a bit, but we were definitely getting to it.
Certainly no end to that topic in sight. But speaking of dinosaurs,
let's talk about dinosaurs.
We can talk about the Lost Wild, which at first I thought was like, this is either a Jurassic Park
I thought it was a
video
Jurassic
game
Park.
or like Dino Crisis. And it turned out to be neither. It's Annapurna making a game where people are lost in not Jurassic Park.
Yep.
There are dinosaurs around. Seemed very spooky. Seemed very fun. Seems cool.
Yeah, there's some
We finally got a release date for Phantom Blade Zero.
What a weird...
So weird. Yeah, it feels like a mix between Devil May Cry and Sekiro.
So Phantom Blade Zero just opens up. It looks like a Sekiro, but I was never a Phantom Blade player, so I'll be interested to see how it
idea.
plays.
But now the game looks really cool. They're making it look cool as hell. You got some nice like wushu fucking like sword, like Chinese sword action going on.
Look fun.
You got a lot of really cool martial arts. It feels like they're ramping the speed up. Like they're making it so fast and so fluid. Looks very, very cool.
We had some pretty cool highlights to talk about, actually. I have one that I want you to talk about, but I'm going to talk about mine first. I want to talk about Silent Hill Townfall.
Oh, yeah.
Silent Hill Townfall is a game that I'm super excited about, and I'm going to try and not go into Silent Hill nerd mode on all of you right now, because I can and will at the drop of a hat.
Do we need to put a time limit on this?
No. So Silent Hill Townfall is really fascinating because right now we're entering a new era of Silent Hill games that are not being made by Konami. Our last game, which was wildly popular, Silent Hill F, a really big deal. It plays like a traditional old school Silent Hill game, but it takes place in Japan. It does not take place in Silent Hill. That's a big fucking deal. A lot of people tried to write that game off just based on that fact alone. And then the reviews started coming out and people started playing it and they're like, no, this is a Silent Hill game. Like, it does all the things that a Silent Hill game does. The world changes at certain parts. Like, the monsters are based around the fear of the character. And that was Silent Hill F was a traditional, almost top-down or from-the-back style Silent Hill, very much a la the classics that we remember. Now, Silent Hill Townfall, we're entering the Resident Evil 9 first-person era of Silent Hill. And this is cool as shit, because it's another Silent Hill game that does not take place in Silent Hill. It has all of the elements of a Silent Hill. like you look at the trailer and you're like, the world is changing. It looks like it is definitely dealing with psychological trauma, which all the greatest Silent Hill games ever do.
Yeah, but it's always like the Silent Hill games, and like I'm pretty sure I learned this from you. All of the trauma and scares are like based on something that's actually happening in the person's life.
Correct.
So what I noticed in this one, watching the trailer, was like he wakes up in a hospital with like a thing in his hand, and it's like, oh, and then a lot of the terror that I'm seeing seems to have a kind of like a sickness as a theme.
Yeah.
That's very, very interesting so far.
And this is the first Silent Hill that we have where we have a black protagonist.
Oh, yeah.
Very excited about it. It's very cool. I cannot wait to play it. I still need to finish Silent Hill F. I have just been so busy with other things.
Yeah. So what's the one you wanted me to talk about?
I wanted you to talk about that one. Ace Combat.
Man, I was going to mention this one as kind of like a what?
So the reason I wanted Hector to talk about this, you don't have to go in depth, but legitimately, Ace Combat is a series that has existed almost my entire life.
Is it a flight
Ever.
simulator?
It is an
Okay.
arcade shooter.
Yeah. I have never met a single person or been in the presence of an Ace Combat game. It apparently sells millions, but I have never been like hanging out with a person
Yeah,
and somebody
never
like,
went to a friend's house as a kid and they're
Yeah.
like, fuck yeah, Ace Combat.
Yeah.
Never went to an arcade and saw a bunch of kids doing Ace Combat, even
Yeah.
though I know that's a thing. Never seen a kid with a flight stick. Never, knew anyone
I had a flight stick, but that was for mech games.
played any of these games. And I stopped seeing trailers for games like this probably 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And what we got here looks so cool. We have, again, the flight mechanics, not of a sim, but of a more of an arcade style. Like, hey, we're gonna put you in the cockpit of an F whatever and have you like run missions, and it'll be cool. But it looks like they got a bunch of story. They've got super cinematic angles. Thank you, Top Gun Maverick. They've got so much cool stuff going on. Great graphics, but not like mind-bending graphics. Graphics that you can tell that like they probably got on a bit of a budget in order to make the world and everything so cool and so big and have giant vehicles.
It's got a cool AA feel to it.
Super cool AA feel to it, which makes me almost like more into it, like willing to take a chance on it. And if a bunch of people say, "No, you got to play Ace Combat 8," it's tempting, man. It's tempting to look at. It really is.
Yeah. All right. Now that Ace Combat's out of there, what do you want to talk about next?
I want to talk about No Rest for the Wicked
Yep.
because a very special thing happened. No Rest for the Wicked, who, for anyone who doesn't know, comes from the developers of Ori and the Blind Forest, which was probably one of my favorite. Part 2, Ori and the Blind Forest 2, was one of my favorite Metroidvanias of the last 5 years. It's beautiful, wonderful music, wonderful story, wonderful game. Makes you cry, all that cool stuff. Well, that studio decided that they were done with platformers. I want to make a Diablo, but even more so, I want to make it co-op. I want to have a persistent world specific to who you're partying with. I want to have, meaningful classes and crazy loot, but I want it to play like a top-down Souls game. I want you to have to dodge roll. I want it to be animation-based. I want when you swing a weapon for it to have heft, for it to have frames, for you to really know how your character is going to move based on what they're holding, and have to know how the enemies are going to attack. It's super, super fucking engaging. And the art style is beautiful. It's got this real watercolor almost feel to it. Yeah. There's good, absolutely my shit from beginning to end because it feels like a game you could play with your friends forever.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did they announce this coming to the PS5, which was the big cool thing, because maybe if you're a PlayStation only kid, this is the first time you've seen this game. But what this does is, ever since I bought this game, I want to say 2 years ago in early access, they've been adding content. When this game came out, it wasn't even multiplayer. What they announced here is that the early access version of the game I want to play is no more. And what we are moving to here at the end of October is version 1.0. Game is done. Game has endgame. Game is fully fleshed out. Everything they add from here going forward will be extra or DLC. And man, that makes me happy because I can't wait for a whole bunch of people to buy this game and try it out because it's so cool.
I want to talk about Ill. Ill was a surprising hit for me. I didn't know anything about this game prior to it being shown during the state of play.
Yeah, me neither. I hadn't heard of
So
this.
Ill, according to their Steam page, is a realistic first-person action horror game
Starring the Beastie Boys.
that takes you into a dark fort overtaken by a mysterious entity. Unpredictable monsters, a visceral dismemberment system, and realistic physics create the atmosphere of relentless terror. That's from the Steam page. And so, yeah, the whole idea behind this is physics are the thing in this horror game. You can grab a monster and tear it apart or shoot a limb or, like I said, dismemberment, a big part of the whole thing. It's a graphic fucking game.
Oh,
I
yeah,
will say the
gory
only,
as shit.
I'm taking that video off.
I will say the only negative for it is that it is literally for the third time, if not the 20th time, hey, you just woke up from a coma. There's a zombie apocalypse.
What?
Seems cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think the last two, I think we know what the last two are going to have to be.
Yeah.
But before we get down to those, let's talk about Until Dawn 2.
Yeah, sure.
Because, like, that trailer came on, and for a little while, we were all like, what is this? What are we looking
We were
at?
all throwing
It
out
looked like-
theories.
it looked like Far Cry. It looked a little bit like, we didn't know what the gameplay was going to look like, but you obviously have real actors, in a location that could be very realistic, all acting against each other. And what it turns out to be is it's an Until Dawn game, although it's not made by the former studio that used to do it. It's made by a new studio. But yeah, Until Dawn. What we have is the plot of a bunch of people who go to an island and are making like internet content. And the whole thing is that, they pretend like, oh, what if there's a killer? What if there's the island's haunted? And, they go out there and it's a cheap way to write off traveling to, a beautiful place and swimming and drinking and eating and fucking all your friends.
And then they run into Neil Newborn.
And then there's a real killer.
Yep.
And it becomes a horror movie. But you're playing it and it looks really fun. Like it seems like a really good time. This seems like the type of thing I would want to get everyone together for, and we all just play it together.
Was Until Dawn the one that you could all install the app on your phone and everybody gets to vote on what happens?
I want to say there was one version of Until Dawn that had that.
Because I specifically had it installed on my PS5 forever, but I don't have friends come over and play the horror game.
I know, right? like we have to. Well, that's a problem as adults. Like we have to organize that instead of just like all your friends come over on a certain day.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, excited for that. Looks pretty cool.
Last two games, we're gonna end.
Oh, you definitely want to talk about God, what is it? Stuntman Hollywood.
I do. You know what? I'm gonna mention Stuntman Hollywood real quick because that was a fun trailer. So Stuntman Hollywood was the reveal of the trailer, because what you got was a trailer with like someone driving and like doing some stuff, and
Some
you're like,
very
oh, okay,
Fast and Furious
are we
related
getting like a
things.
Grand Theft Auto, but it's Fast and Furious? We just got Forza. Are we really doing another racing game? And then you see the fucking
Kit.
Mach whatever Phantom from Knight Rider.
Yeah, it's Kit.
And like it's doing all the things. It's coming apart and putting itself back together in all the cool ways. It's got the lights and all that shit. Then you see like more famous cars, and then they start doing stunts like you see in movies, and you get like glimpses of like, very Fast and the Furious style stuff, cars with NOS and like, whale tails out to here, and they're jumping over trains or maybe onto trains or like over oceans or whatever they're going to do. They're drifting around Tokyo. Then you get like a shot of the no shit actual motherfucking DeLorean from Back to the Future. And a guy gets out of it, and then you get the big reveal, hey, stuntman. That's right. You are playing a driving game where your objective is not to race or drive in a circle 3 times. Your objective is to hit your mark, to hit the ramp when you're supposed to hit it, to achieve the stunt and get it on camera in a way that is convincing and beautiful and that the director likes. And you have what looks like cars from Mad Max. You have cars from everything. From
they really got a lot of licenses in this.
Yeah, which is great. Like if you make something about Hollywood, Hollywood will chip in. And that's always been the case. So this looks like the type of thing that could make me buy a game about cars. Just because it seems like a really set of
it had a fun
challenge,
like a burnout feel to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I really
if you
dug.
crash, it's going to show you crashed.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the next two.
Second to last game I want to talk about because it's the second most important of the show to me. That is Control Resident. We got another trailer. Trailer was great. I don't want to see any more trailers. Stop it. And I know you're going to because you gave us a release date. I would like everyone to tell me the release date who's been paying attention.
September, obviously.
September 25th. That's right. A solid month away from Grand Theft Auto 6. That's right. In September, I believe I will be playing Onimusha and Control at the same time while looking either very soon forward to Wolverine or having just finished it. it's going to be a very busy autumn, y'all.
Yeah, I just got a new job, and my new job gives me 20 days off.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be using all 20 days off this year to play all the games coming out specifically in September.
Yeah, and I don't even plan on playing Grand Theft Auto 6.
Right.
I just got to play all the other stuff that crammed itself into the hole that Grand Theft Auto 6 made.
I keep thinking about the Metalocalypse season where they're like, guys, you have to release this album. Like so many economies depend on it. That's
Grand
what's
Theft
happening
Auto.
here.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what Grand Theft Auto does. That is 1,000% true. We can show you charts. But yeah, Control Resonant, we got a new trailer. It's most of a story trailer. We didn't see a lot of new gameplay, and that's fine. Don't show me any more of this game. I just want to play the game.
Oh, I just want to say something real quick.
Just let me play the game.
Because the internet, because fucking hilarious shit. Obviously, there's a lot of people on the internet. Again, we're talking about 1% of the people on Twitter that like whenever the like a game we will be talking about soon, where the protagonist changes in one game where they were a male in one game and they're a female in the second game, and then a bunch of people get butthurt online being like, "How
woke.
dare you? How woke?
How dare you make women people?"
When the trailer for Control Resonant came out, there were a bunch of people on Twitter that were posting, "How dare they change the protagonist to a man?"
Right? What's he gonna do with
What?
his weak hands? He can't even climb up a rope.
How? And I was just like reading my phone at like midnight, dying laughing because it was just like, "This is what you idiots sound like."
Yeah.
Like all of you that are just like, "How could you put a woman in my video game?"
He's
Now-
not even wearing makeup.
right. Yeah. Now we're like, "How dare you change the protagonist of Control to a man?"
So
Speaking of,
Never have I ever played a God of War game.
sure.
But after seeing this, I'm like, holy shit, I'm going to
That's-
have to borrow my stepson's PS5 to play this when it comes out because
Yes, you are.
this looks fantastic. For those of you who don't know, I generally prefer playing video games with female protagonists. I buy that underdog scenario a lot more than when a man is in charge. I'm just like,
Same,
sure.
maybe you ran out of ideas, dude. So this I'm really excited for.
Yeah, so let's talk about it because this is our final game that we're going to talk
So,
about.
John, I want to tell you that the reason that they don't put anything in the first, say, 15 seconds of this trailer is so that you can hear the opening song.
Oh.
Bear
Right
McCreary.
here over Sony sent this trailer
If
started.
I had never
and before
played
I
the
saw,
game of God of War, would it mean something to me?
if you had, yes. If, not, no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the song begins with a woman humming, and she hums about 6 or 7 notes, and it becomes a motif that carries through from 2018 through about 90 hours of gameplay, considering both games, maybe more. Before the first title came up, I messaged the group chat, "This is a God of War game," because I knew the first 3 notes that were hummed, and I knew what was coming. But then the trailer starts, and instead of being a new God of War thing starring Kratos, we're in the past. We're with Kratos in 2018, and very young Atreus at the very, very beginning, the first scene of God of War 2018, where they are burying his wife, Atreus' mother. Well, they're burning her, really, according to tradition.
Cremation.
And which sets off their journey, which is the catalyst for the events of both massive games. And instead of following them, because we've already seen what happens to them, we follow the body. We follow the magic going to the place where all magic goes when it dies on Earth. And we see Kratos' wife wake up in the after world, the everywhere. That the anyway, the everyway, something like that. But this is where, truly where all magic goes, and it's where she ended up. And it almost, when she wakes up, feels like she had a plan to be there. Kratos' wife, if you played God of War Ragnarok, was played by Deborah Ann Wall, one of my favorite actors all the way back since she was in the first season of True Blood. Such a wonderful actress, accomplished, fellow D&D player.
A dungeon master specifically.
Dungeon Master, I'm sorry. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Dungeon Master. An actress in several of the Marvel properties, Daredevil, Punisher, the new, obviously she was featured heavily in the newest season of Daredevil. She's very, very good, and apparently we've been making this game for like 5 or 6 years now, so she couldn't say a thing about this. But like I said, she very briefly in one scene played his wife in the last game, and seeing that we're getting an entire game about her with this actress at the helm, a full-on Sony Santa Monica, Sony Entertainment Studios God of War game. Fuck, this looks cool.
Yeah,
This looks so badass.
Yeah.
I knew we needed to do something different for the third game instead of just having it be like Kratos again would have been fine or whatever, but it wasn't what I was expecting because it really feel like that came to an end at the end of Ragnarok. Not that he dies or anything, which not spoilers for Ragnarok, Kratos doesn't die at the end.
He goes to therapy.
Yeah, he literally goes to therapy, which is what the DLC for God of War Ragnarok is.
It's so
literally
good.
Kratos doing the work and coming to grips with who he is as a person, what his past is, and how it doesn't have to define his future. It is beautiful.
The literal angriest character in all the history of video games in the DLC of the second game basically goes to therapy.
Yeah, and it's badass, to be honest. But this is the woman that calmed him down. She made the sound the sea makes to calm him down. They had a child together, and for whatever mysterious fucking reason,
She was also the hunter of the two.
She also was the hunter of the two, and according to Kratos, a very equal warrior to him.
She called him a good boy, and he took it.
That's right.
That is canon in the game.
Yup. How do you tie down the God of War? And she did it like it
She
was
just
nothing.
pet him and called him a good boy, and he was like, "Yes,
Yes, I am.
I
I'm
will.
a very good
I will
boy.
follow you, pretty redheaded
you
woman."
want me to do some stuff after you're dead? Yes, I will follow it to the letter, to the end of the world, because that's how much I loved you. And now we get to play as this heroine, this amazing fucking person that we've only seen so briefly and alluded to only in faded memory from the two characters discussing how much they miss their wife and mother.
I always thought, even going back to God of War 2018, like the fact that this character was only briefly shown, and yet you cast a very well-known actress as that role. And I was like, that seems like so little for such a big actress, and now we're staring down the barrel of her game going, oh.
By that time, we already had a script for this, apparently. At least, certainly by the time we were playing Ragnarok, this was already in production, based on what we know. Because this brought a lot of news. It brought, people had been working on it forever. The game had a new director. Obviously, Barlog was working on Ragnarok while this was being developed. That director has been with the project since God of War was called Dominus and had a blue tattoo. That means since before the first game.
Yeah.
So she's obviously going to kill it.
She has the biggest pedigree.
Yeah, the pedigree. Like it's her and Barlog there since the very beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, and man, like I couldn't be more proud of them. Again, like I was saying, we could have had another Kratos game and people would have been fine, but it would have come out and people might have called it repetitive. We could have had a game about Atreus that would have been very cool, but how would that have tread new ground when we've already had this father and son like do so much? Having a story now about LaFay and about her literally just trying to find her way home.
This looks so good.
Is so.
Here's the thing I want to talk about is that the God of War has always been a very always centralized on the mythology in the original trilogy, which I did not play.
Very,
but
very
that's
Greek, all the Greek stuff. And then once we got to
2018,
we got the Valhalla and the Norse stuff, and they squished together. And they were alluding to all of this since 2018. They're like, when Tyr set out to unite the kingdoms, he met Egyptian gods and he met Asian gods, Chinese and Japanese. We got all kinds of folklore like that. And now what we're finally seeing is we're seeing the culmination of all of that when LaFay wakes up here where magic goes when it dies on Earth.
Yeah, that's one of the things that you notice that is with everything being so specific, and one of the fascinating things is that I didn't know that Hector talked to me about a little bit when I was playing God of War 2018, because I was like, do I need to play the other ones? And he goes, you don't need to. There is a connection, but don't worry about it. You can watch a YouTube video about it. And it was that essentially the God of War trilogy did happen, the original one, the Greek one.
Oh, yeah.
And then Kratos basically moved on to the next chapter, which was the Valhalla chapter, and he was moving between realms when that happens. Mm-hmm. And he is basically a thing that should not exist in the Valhalla realm. The weapons that he carries, the Blades of Chaos, should not exist in the Valhalla realm because they are not of that world. Mm-hmm. But he found Laufey, and she took him in and, said, I know that you're not of this world, but maybe we can make use of this barbarian that you are. And in those games, like you were saying, it's always been alluded to that the other realms exist, that an Egyptian and a Japanese pantheon exist. Mm-hmm. But in God of War Laufey, we're seeing those pantheons all on one plane of existence. And man, does it look cool.
Looks so badass. We're getting such an amalgamation of everything. We've almost got like a Warhammer-esque thing happening. As she wakes up in this place where, things are not all right, magic that ends up here after it leaves, the waking world seems to all be concentrated in the hands of some like very bad people who instantly, when she comes out of, wakes up in this world, is like, hey, we're putting you in a cage now.
Yeah. All right. So we have a couple more things to talk about before we wrap this up, but we do have to wrap this up. We should talk about the Frank of it.
Oh, sure.
So Frank, by the way, his name is Pharque.
Yeah, Frank, played by Jack Quaid of The Boys and several other things.
And he is a gelatinous cube that will be hanging out with your character, Faye, and will occasionally assist you in combat. I originally, when I watched the trailer the first time, did not think that I liked this character. The more I've been kind of marinating on it, I'm becoming more... I'm beginning to like it more because, like Hector, like you said, I mean, half of God of War 2018 is you have a fucking zombified head hanging off of your ass talking to you. It's
right.
Not like this is unheard of.
Yeah, they assist you in combat. They tell you things like you're on fire, maybe roll, or hey, you use your abilities you haven't used. You seem like you're dying. And, they say helpful shit like that, or there's someone behind you.
Yeah.
So that's what stuff like this is for, because it's difficult to fight at this camera angle and have everything covered. So instead of widening the camera angle and making the game look worse, they found a way around that.
Yeah.
A couple other things. There's also a sword with ribbons on it. The ribbons are magical and they talk, and they're a New Zealand character because the writer of this story is from New Zealand. Yeah. That's Alana Pierce, for anyone who doesn't know. She's known as influencer is the wrong word, but she definitely has a YouTube channel. She's been in the industry doing stuff for a long time. I know she worked as a consultant quite a bit.
Oh, she's done a ton of work in the industry. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And famously dating Rael, another one of our beautiful boys who we love very much. Mm-hmm. Currently starring in a game I'm playing, Saros.
Yep.
So, man, what a couple.
They are a beautiful couple. I'm so
if you get
the most gorgeous people.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful people. If you get a chance, find her YouTube channel, Alana Pierce, and watch her react to that trailer going live for the first time. Yeah. Because she hasn't been able to talk about this shit for ages. Mm. And she didn't know how she was going to keep the secret. Plus, she'd never seen the game in motion before. Well, the last time she looked at the game, everything was boxes.
Yep.
And now it looks like this, and she's just like losing her mind as the trailer goes on. It's really beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
But, The game looks amazingly cool. I don't think we'll get it until probably the later end of next year.
Yeah.
But
I think they said 2027.
Yeah, but man, I am looking forward to it. It seems so cool. It really does.
All right, that's everything that we have to talk about for the Sony State of Play. It was absolutely fantastic. We had a really great time. Next podcast, it's going to be loaded like this because we've got all the Summer Game Fest going on. But before we get to that, we still have to get to what we've been up to in the epilogue.
Epilogue.
Hey everyone, welcome to the epilogue. It's time to dive into what we've been up to this week, what we've been playing, what we've been watching, what's been occupying our free time, and what has been making us happy. John, what you got for me?
You know what I've gone back to do? I went back to Borderlands. I finished my true Vault Hunter mode on Borderlands 2, which was fun. And then I went to. I'm currently playing the true Vault Hunter mode in the pre-sequel, which is probably my favorite Borderlands, and it is fucking tragic that once I finish this true Vault Hunter mode, it has no replay value because they don't let you just pick another character with like pre-built stats. That's just not a thing.
Yeah.
And they could easily just flip that switch, and they don't. So this will be the last time I ever play it because I am not starting from fucking zero.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, but that's been fun. And again, still just reading silly Bongo comic books. I'm right now in the middle of the Bongo crossover, which was kind of just more of a mocking thing since you only needed, even at the time, you only needed to like purchase 3 comics to get the full Bongo crossover.
Ah.
You know, Bartman, Itchy and Scratchy, and The Simpsons. But yeah, just been having fun with that, turning off my brain and focusing on work and working out as well.
Nice.
I'm at the tipping point of trimming down the belly where I have to learn to. This is going to sound twisted, people. Don't do as I do.
Don't do as the LA guy does.
Yeah, but I'm at that tipping point where you got to learn to start enjoying the sensation of hunger.
Yeah, you know, it's like a friend. You embrace it.
Well,
kind of like when you smoke a really rough cigarette and you're like, no, but I like it.
well, since you're signing off on that part of it, and we're going to move over to Hector, I do want to just preemptively say happy birthday, John.
Happy birthday,
thank you
John.
very much.
It is
Yeah.
John's birthday this
That's
weekend.
another thing. I got
That's
to
right.
get my free Starbucks beverage.
That's
There you
right.
go.
And we're all playing arcade games
Oh,
tomorrow.
yeah, and we're hitting the cidercade tomorrow.
Yep.
Hell
And they
yeah.
finally serve beer.
Ah,
there you go.
sweet.
All right. So, Hector, that brings it to you. What have you been up to this week?
All right. Aside from the one we'll both have a chance to talk about, what have I been doing? I finished The Boys, the final episode of The Boys.
Sure.
I liked it. I liked the end. I felt some of it might have been a bit unnecessary, but I can see why they decided to wrap it
I
up
have
the way
3
they
things
did.
for us to talk about. so-
Okay. I was a little upset that the kids from Generation V were not given more to do.
Me too.
I was really hoping they were going to play at least a couple of the
Such
3
a
of them.
wonderful series.
We're going to play a larger part in the final season of The
Man,
Boys.
I gotta watch the final season.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try not to spoil any of this for you.
They're
because
in it,
it
but,
literally
like-
did just come out. Yeah. But I was hoping they would get more to do. I liked what they did. It had everything that a boys season should have. It was funny. It was interesting. You know, it was quippy. All your favorite characters did all the best stuff. Yeah, it was good. It was really good. And what
I
made
think
me
that
like
there's
it
a
even-
Guinness Book of World Records for the number of sexual innuendos
Oh God, there has
in
to be.
season 5.
Does everyone's mutant dick and balls count? Because Jesus
Right.
Christ, there was more like mutant anatomy in this season than I think, and it's a high bar too for this series.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a lot of that. But no, it was good. It did perfectly decent ending. Let's see. What else? I mean, I'm still on my Crimson Desert run. I don't think I am close to 150 hours at this point, and I am certain I still have much, much, much more to go. So I take breaks every now and then. I think my next break might be for something like Mina the Hollower, just to like round out the summer, or maybe I'll pick up something I've been meaning to play, like Blueprints. But yeah, Crimson Desert, man. I don't think I'll ever truly be done with this game. It really does feel like I was accidentally dropped into an MMO by myself, given everything that there is to do in a game like that, and just told to play around. And that's what I've been doing, and it's been awesome. Let's see. Aside from The Boys, I think that might be it. Yeah, that's been my last 2 weeks for sure.
Okay. So, on my end, like I said, I got a job. I started on the 15th. It's been in the tech world is really rough right now, y'all.
You know?
What?
So yeah, I got a new job starting on the 15th. Really excited about that. On top of that, I'm working with Hector and a few of our friends on a big secret project we can't talk about.
Yeah. But it's exciting.
It's a new venture for us as friends, and it's going to be a wild ride. And I can't wait to.
Everybody's just hearing OnlyFans right
Yeah.
now.
Oh,
It's just only
fans. No, it's a classy place. It's only feet.
All right, so let's talk about things that we can't talk about. So I'm going to knock out the horror first, and then we're going to get to the big one that I know you want to talk about. First off, the last 2 weeks were so this last month, being my birthday month, everybody handed over the reins for 4 weeks in our movie group every Wednesday, and I got to do a halfway to Halloween horror segment, and I picked a separate horror movie for each of the individuals in our group that were catered to them. I talked about it last podcast because we talked about Ninjas versus Shark. This week we got to Hector's choice, which was The Righteous.
The Righteous. Yeah.
And I talked about The Righteous, I think, briefly when I watched it back in like January. The Righteous is an independent Canadian horror movie made by a very famous actor. I can't remember his name right now. This is his directorial debut. It is a psychological horror movie about grief, loss, and trauma, and a lot of religion.
Yeah, so much.
So, Hector, I picked this one for you.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
This was very much, again, it's black and white. The spooks, while light is not the right word, it's very much there's not a monster following anybody or a dude with a knife. It's very much what is real, what is happening, what is it that I need to atone for, and who's making me? Because I certainly seem to be answering for something. Sort of movie. One of the most effective uses of black and white cinematography I've seen in a long time. It really does add a lot to the viewing experience. The depth of field and shadow and everything else just lends itself to the way that the movie was shot in such a glorious, beautiful way. And a movie entirely carried by the performers acting.
There's like 5 characters.
Yeah, there's like 5 characters, and there's like 3 locations in the entire movie, if you're really counting. And man, like I was in it for the entire time. I was never bored. I never looked away. The movie was just cool and like interesting and had aura the entire time.
Question, if you guys know, do you know if they shot it in black and white or if they just shot it in color and then made it black and white?
It's so fucking clear that I'm pretty sure it's digital. So I would say it was shot digitally. I don't think there was any kind of color involved. I think it was just ones and zeros until they decided to render it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just curious because when you shoot something in color and then make it black and white, there's a lot of weird, cool layers you can play with because you have the whole color spectrum.
Oh, that's true.
And you can like key things to like different,
If you have never seen a picture of what the Addams, like the original 1960s Addams Family looked like in color.
Oh, yeah.
Google it. It's hilarious because like shit's just like pink and red and like they're all very vibrant colors because it was being filmed on black and white, and so they'd use vibrant colors to
make them pop.
to make them pop that way.
Mm-hmm.
The second movie I want to talk about is one that we watched. I just realized I made us watch 2 movies about child loss back to back.
Yeah.
Yesterday we saw Bring
Good
Her
thing
Back.
none of us have kids.
We watched Bring Her Back, which is a movie by the same studio who brought us Talk to Me, which is a breakout horror hit last year. The studio is actually made by 2 creators. I do not remember their names right now, but they were YouTube creators who specifically focused their YouTube content around doing practical horror effects.
Yep, stunts.
Lots of stunts, stuff
Big
like that.
Stunts.
And Talk to Me was great. And then they did Bring Her Back.
Yeah.
Whoo.
This is one that, like, you know what you love in horror is there's this old Louis C.K. joke about how he's a comedian, so whenever anyone starts to tell a joke, he instantly knows where it's going. But when his 3-year-old daughter starts to tell a joke, you know, it makes no sense because a 3-year-old's making it. It's like, why did the gorilla go to the theater? And he's like, I don't know this joke. This is great. That's the great thing about both of the movies that have been produced by these is when you start to watch a horror movie, if you've seen as many as we have, you feel like, okay, yeah, I see where this is going. I see what's going to happen. I see who's in charge.
Yep.
You know, where the twist is going to be. And when this started, when we started to see the scope of what we were dealing with, I straight up was like, I don't know this one. This is gonna be something else.
That reminds me of like Darren Aronofsky. Like if you
Yeah.
sit down to
Yeah.
watch an Aronofsky movie, 20 minutes in, you're like, just do what you're gonna do to me. I give
Right?
up.
So-
just let's go.
I'm going to cheat for the podcast. I'm going to give you my Letterboxd review.
Oh, okay. It's double dipping.
Yeah, I gave it a 4.5. By the way, I write brilliant Letterboxd reviews, just so you know. So my review was this team. This team is 2 for 2 on fantastic horror. They have a way of discussing trauma and grief that is a gut punch. They also know how to write awesome and unique rules for each of the horror movies they make. Bonus points to this film for everyone that I showed it to saying, that was so good, I never want to see it again. Everyone said that on the couch. Just, that was really good, I never want to see that movie again.
Yeah. No, it was a good time.
Yeah. All right.
Do recommend.
Horror movies out of the way. There's one more that we need to talk about. Hector, you've got a lot of feelings about it, but there's one more thing that we did go see together.
I do, yes. So recently, and I don't want to give away too much here. It is still in theaters, but we went ahead and went to go see the first Star Wars movie to hit theaters in 7 years, The Mandalorian and Grogu.
You guys went to see that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
We were
Star Wars fans through and through.
Avid show watchers.
We watched all the Disney Plus stuff, you know, and we're honestly very big fans of The Mandalorian,
Yep.
the TV show. It was been through some good stuff. It had good episodes and bad episodes. Certainly not a perfect series. It's continued on in a lot of the other Disney Plus shows, you know, and stuff like Book
Hey,
of Boba
it's
Fett.
one of the most adequate things I've ever seen.
Exactly. So, you know, it's like, yeah, let's go to the movie. Let's see what they did with a movie. They have 2 hours to really sell me some Mandalorian and Grogu. I know they're going to have a big budget. They're probably going to have a bunch of, you know, badass voice casting. They're going to have some great special effects, some great fight choreography.
Martin Scorsese's in this movie.
Martin Scorsese does do a voice in this movie.
But they still have some good actors, right?
No, yeah, they do. No, he does a voice for an animated character, and it's very cute, honestly. It's actually very, very cute. He does good alien voice. Yeah, you can picture it when you think about him talking. But I walked out of the theater thinking, well, that was fun. You know, that was a good time. I'm used to a certain level of quality. From
We went to the
Mandalorian
bar
and
afterwards
Grogu.
and talked about how much fun we had.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, you know, it's you know, a solid, like, you know, and I even at the time, I think I said, like, it felt like a half season of the show. You know how the show usually breaks up into 2 arcs, and you know you have your first arc, which is just like getting to know you, and you have your second arc when the plot develops, and we're getting into the real stuff. And this felt like the first arc of one season of the show, which I was okay with when we walked out. And the more I thought about it, and the longer I dwelt on it, and it started to piss me off more and more. And let me explain why. Again, fan of the show, like the show, like the characters, this whole thing. Nothing fucking happens in this movie.
No consequences?
No, it's not even that. It's like nothing fucking happens in this movie. It feels like, the more I think about it, it doesn't feel like half of a season. It feels like a one-off Monster of the Week episode that got way, way too long, and they just went ahead and made it. The reason the more I think about it, the more pissed off I get it. The reason they keep coming back to me is because we have the Mandalorian and we have Grogu. They're the title characters in the Star Wars thing. We didn't have in Star Wars and the Crawl. It wasn't a Star Wars movie, which I can't wait to see in theaters again. We had the Mandalorian and Grogu, and we had the honestly fucking amazing soundtrack.
The soundtrack was so good.
I felt like the soundtrack was doing its absolute damnedest to carry this movie.
It was like if somebody said The Mandalorian, but put it in Blade Runner.
Yeah, but like more badass and with like some cyberpunk aesthetic. Yeah. Goranson is a genius. He made the Mandalorian just walking around normally seem like I was having a great time.
Yeah.
Like he just killed it with the soundtrack because I was adequately, happily distracted for the entire movie. But again, without spoiling any of the movie because it's still in theaters, nothing fucking happens. No character, our two main characters, do not grow. They do not develop. They do not develop any new powers, abilities, friends.
But how was Pedro Pascal's voiceover work?
Sleepy.
I was too busy staring at Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, it was quite like very much like he was busy is what it sounded like. It sounds like I'm Pedro Pascal and I'm busy.
Yep.
His helmet is off for if I am being
5 minutes?
very generous, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
If that all at once, and he still doesn't emote. And he is a main character, and you never get to see them emote. You never know when he's worried. You never know when he's happy. You never know anything that's going on. All the performances in this movie are CGI characters and puppets. And again, I walked out of this movie going like, that was fun.
Yeah, but that is the
And you know what
goal.
it was? It was fun. But nothing happened. It doesn't feel like a movie. It feels like an episode of television. Remember when I was talking about adaptations? Shitty adaptations? This was a shitty adaptation. Not of a video game into a movie, but of an episode of TV into an entire movie.
And so
Shitty adaptation. Because it doesn't deserve to be a movie at all. And the first time I see a Star Wars movie on the screen in 7 years, and they give me something that feels like they shoved it out the door because they felt like it, we were promised some things a while ago when Filoni took over the universe. I thought the next Star Wars movie we were getting after all the shit we saw on TV was their like big Avengers thing where all of those franchises, you know,
all the TV stuff,
Rebels and Ahsoka and The Mandalorian, were all going to come together. And that might still be happening. I don't even know, but it certainly wasn't this. This felt like one episode of television. And that bothers me more because they gave it to us as a movie in a theater than I liked the movie. That's where I'm sitting on it right now.
Well, one of these days, they're going to be able to cover up all those human faces and just keep all the money themselves.
I'm not going to spoil anything about the movie, but I will say this. And I've been holding on to this opinion for a while, and I don't know if anybody else, if you felt this way or... There's a lot of feelings about it. Like I said, had fun. We got out of the movie. We talked about it. We had fun. And as we've been marinating on it, it's been a little bit different. One of the things that I wanted to say when we got out of the theater, but we were kind of riding the happiness high of it all, is this movie felt like a roller coaster. And I don't mean that in the way that you think I mean it, where it had ups and downs and it was thrilling and it did things. No. This movie felt like a Disneyland amusement park.
Yeah, it's a theme park ride.
That you walk through for an hour and you get, while you're standing in line and you get to watch all the people talk to you from the movies, and then you get up to the line and you're excited, and at that point you've got all the adrenaline because I finally get to ride the ride, and then the ending happens and it's over and you walk away and you probably never think about that ride ever again. That is what this movie felt like.
Yeah, it's honestly incredibly fucking forgettable. I had a moment yesterday when I was thinking about this movie where I couldn't remember what the actual villain was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but keep in mind there's the other side of that roller coaster coin, like Kubrick. There's a couple Kubrick movies that are just straight up, like The Shining and Space Odyssey, are literally just theme park rides. Right. But those stick with you like some of the greatest roller coaster rides I've been on.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like... Yeah, this was I was standing in line at Disney
the Carnival
World.
roller coaster.
But maybe
no, it was specifically a Disney World roller coaster.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I hope this isn't too old man, but when I go again, I was literally just talking about being a sucker for a movie carried by the performances of its actors, because that's the impressive part to me when I watch movies. It's like, wow, look at these people telling the story. Holy shit, they're doing such a great job. And all I saw in this movie was CGI puppets and people wearing helmets.
There were a lot of practical puppets. I do want to give them credit for
lots
that.
of practical puppets. Grogu was always practical. Unless he's got to do some kickflips or something, and then they do a fucking fantastic job
now, gentlemen,
of blending that shit in.
I don't want to blame a victim here, but are you both telling me this is not what you expected? 100,000%?
No.
This is not what you assumed?
No.
This is not Really?
Nope.
Because if I went to see it with you, I promise you, I would have tried to buy a ticket for a different movie just so they didn't get my money. Because I knew you had to know. You had to know.
John, you're so much more cynical.
Yes, you are.
This was a cash grab.
No. Every movie is a cash grab.
Yeah,
Every
but, like,
movie
you had to
made
know
by
this was,
Disney
like,
is
the
a
next
cash grab.
Raven or
Sometimes
Craven.
they're Avengers Infinity War. They're all cash grabs. Sometimes people put real
Fucking
effort
The
into
Shining's
them.
a cash grab.
Yeah.
But you knew, like, the Avengers was different than what was the last Spider-Man movie where all three of them were on it?
Sure.
There
Yeah,
was
no, I get
plot.
it.
Hey, No Way Home was fun.
But it's fun, but you knew what it was. You knew what was coming.
Either way, it's just
Nah,
we
man.
should expect more when it comes to this.
No, we absolutely should. Well,
Yeah.
I don't expect more from Star Wars. I don't expect more from Disney. I expect more from somebody putting hundreds of millions of dollars into the concept of here's a AAA summer blockbuster movie.
Yeah.
It was an episode of Disney Plus.
Yep.
It really, really was. And I've never said that about a Star Wars movie before. Never, not once. Certainly about TV shows. I mean, Marvel gave us fucking Secret Invasion or whatever the fuck. That was ass.
Yeah.
We've had, Star Wars Episode 9. That was, maybe one of the biggest mistakes ever made by a large studio.
This honestly feels like Favreau's in his prequel phase of just laying back
Oh,
in the big
straight
chair.
up. Oh, yeah.
and being
Favreau
like,
has been creatively corrupt
I
since he
just
started
think the
making
background
live
needs more
action
lighting. Can
Lion
we just
King
add more
movies.
lighting in the background?
Yeah,
Great.
no, and that's fine. And like at one point he weaved off into his like, yeah, I'm gonna be, he made Chef, which was obviously a movie about him being frustrated by working in the system with assholes.
It's a movie with passion
Yeah.
and an opinion.
Wonderful movie, but then when you go off and you get the really fucking big bucks, then you go and do that thing, and they've been doing that thing too much, and. Again, it really felt like Filoni and Favreau were like, well, let's do this one next. Why? I don't know. I kind of want to. It's like, well, is it going to be good? I don't know. That's someone else's problem. And this is what we got. And you know what? If they had released it on Disney Plus, I would have zero fucking problems with it. But this is not the caliber of story.
We had to go to the fucking Alamo Draft House.
This is not the caliber of story, nor the caliber of, frankly, anything that I expect in a movie theater. I should have gone to see The Sheep Detectives.
Or did you see Project Hail Mary?
No, but I will.
Doesn't matter. We're gonna go
but
see
it's-
He-Man this weekend, so
Yeah,
fuck
yeah.
it. He-Man's gonna make up for it.
Yo.
It's gonna be great. Excited. All right, that's everything we have for the show this week. Don't forget that you can head over to goodnight.gg to become a patron of our show. You can head over to facebook.com/GNGGcast where you can chat with us, as well as at GNGGcast on Twitter and goodnight.gg on Blue Sky to talk to me directly. I'm so excited for the next episode because we're going to be talking about Summer Games Fest.
Yeah, I'm very excited to start watching it tomorrow.
But until next time, for Hector, this is James.
For James, this is Hector.
And for you, this is me.
Everyone, good night.
And good game.